Diggs Report here, and the finalists for the Hall of Fame were announced yesterday. We're going to go through each name. I have them on the floor. We're going to go through them alphabetically, and then I'm going to give you my prediction on which 5 are making it to the Hall of Fame. Let's jump right in. Alright, and the first name is Jared Allen. This is a first-time eligible player. He was one of the best pass rushers during his time. When he was with the Chiefs and the Vikings, he was a guy that you had to game plan against. He was basically unblockable. This is why he is a finalist for the Hall of Fame on his first time being eligible. This guy was one of the best players of his generation. He'll get in at some point. Second name, Ronde Barber. During his time with Tampa Bay, Ronde Barber was one of the best corners in the league. And then he switched over to safety later in his career and was still a really good player. This guy played for a long time in this league, was one of the better players in the league. He was the last guy from the Buccaneers Super Bowl team that was still playing, and he was still playing at a really good level. Tony Boselli was Jacksonville's first ever draft pick. They took him 2nd overall in the '95 draft. And right away, he showed them why he was picked 2nd overall. He was a dominant left tackle. He may have been the best left tackle during his time in the NFL. He routinely shut edge rushers down. Nobody could get by him. And this guy would be in the Hall of Fame already if it wasn't for injuries that cut his career short. LeRoy Butler is the reason why we have the Lambeau Leap. He was the first guy to ever do that. He was a wonderful safety for Green Bay, played a lot of years for them, was on their '96 Super Bowl team. This is a guy that's been a finalist before. Is this going to be his time to finally get in? During Alan Faneca's time with the Steelers, Jets, and Cardinals, he was one of the best guards in the league. This guy you could routinely count on to open up holes in the running game and block in the passing game. This guy was a wonderful guard, and it is so tough for guards to get into the Hall of Fame, and I feel like his time is coming up soon. Torry Holt, greatest show on turf. He teamed with Isaac Bruce, who got into the Hall of Fame last year, to form a deadly 1-2 combination at wide receiver. Torry Holt, he was drafted in the first round in '99, won a Super Bowl his first year in the league, and he became one of the best receivers during his time in the league. His numbers tell the story of a Hall of Famer. We'll see if he finally gets in. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, 2nd overall in the 2007 draft. When the Lions went 0-16 in 2008, Calvin Johnson had his breakout season. That just goes to show you how dominant he was a receiver. There's a reason they called him Megatron. He was 6'5", he was over 230 pounds, and he ran a 4.3. You had people that were triple covering this guy, and he was beating the coverage every single time. This is his first time eligible for the Hall of Fame. We'll see if he gets in. John Lynch was the free safety during the Buccaneers Super Bowl run in 2002, and this guy was a hard hitter. There were people that were really afraid of him. John Lynch, this is just somebody that could come up, help out in the running game, but was also dangerous in the passing game. You did not want to get hit by this guy. Peyton Manning. Need I say more? Peyton Manning changed the game in his time with the Colts and Denver. He was the 1st overall pick for the Colts in '98, and he got them a Super Bowl in 2006 after so many years of the Colts just being a laughingstock in the league. Peyton Manning helped turn the team around. He is one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and this is somebody, if this is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know who is. Clay Matthews. No, not Clay Matthews III. I'm talking his father, Clay Matthews Jr. He played for the Browns and the Falcons during his time in the league, played 19 seasons, and was one of the best linebackers in the league. Maybe one of the smartest linebackers during his time as well. Clay Matthews, this is the longest waiting guy on the ballot. We're going to see if he finally gets in. Another linebacker that's waited a long time is Sam Mills. Talk about a journey. This guy was undrafted in 1981, was cut by the Browns, had to go to the USFL, was picked up by the Saints after the USFL folded by his coach Jim Moore, and became a star for the New Orleans Saints. Was part of the Dome Patrol with Ricky Jackson, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling. But Sam Mills, he was only 5'9", and he became a star for this league. And this is a guy that probably should be in the Hall of Fame now, just because this is what the NFL is all about. It's all about the underdog just finding a way to become a star and to find a way to have success. This is somebody that I've said should be in the Hall, and we're going to see if he can finally get in. Richard Seymour. This guy played all along the defensive line during his time with the Patriots, and the Raiders, was on the Patriots' first 3 Super Bowl teams, and when he was traded to Oakland, he was just as good, if not maybe even a better player than he was when he was with the Patriots. This is somebody that not only showed that Patriots could leave and still have success, but he was just one of the best defensive linemen during his time. The 1996 draft was known for giving us great linebackers, and Zach Thomas was no exception. He was drafted by Miami, started right away, and became one of their best defensive players. This was a guy that routinely had great seasons with the Dolphins, even when the Dolphins didn't have success of their own. Zach Thomas is a guy that probably should be in the Hall of Fame now, and we'll see if that can finally happen. Reggie Wayne was a first-round pick in 2001 and grew into one of the best receivers during his time. He was second to Marvin Harrison, but it was still putting up great receiving numbers, and when Marvin Harrison's career was coming to an end, Reggie Wayne stepped up, became the #1 receiver, and was the #1 for many, many seasons. He has over 1,000 catches for his career. Yeah, he played with Peyton Manning, but Reggie Wayne would have been good with any quarterback. Charles Woodson is another first ballot guy. He won the Heisman at Michigan as mainly a defensive player, the only guy to ever do so. And during his time with Oakland and Green Bay, he was one of the best corners in the game. This was somebody that could routinely shut down #1 receivers. This was a guy that won Defensive Player of the Year and won a Super Bowl with the Packers back in 2010. Charles Woodson, one of the best players during his time. Alright, now I'm going to pick the people that I think are going to the Hall of Fame, and right away, Jared Allen is out. He's one of 4 guys that are first time eligible for the Hall of Fame, and out of the 4, I think Jared Allen was kind of the odd man out. Not that he wasn't a great player, he was, but I think the other 3 did more in their career than Allen did, and that's saying a whole lot because Allen was one of the best pass rushers during his time. So, that leaves Woodson, Peyton Manning, and Calvin Johnson. Peyton Manning's in. We all know Peyton Manning's going to be in. No matter what, change the game of football. If this is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then I don't know what is. Calvin Johnson, he may have only played 9 seasons in the league, but in those 9 seasons, he was spectacular. He broke Jerry Rice's single season receiving yards record, and he was routinely being triple covered and was beating that coverage. He was the Lions' best player. I say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Woodson is a little tough. It's a little tough because he did have his struggles when he was with Oakland, but once he got to Green Bay, he became one of the best players ever because of what he did with Green Bay. And when he went back to Oakland, he was still a great player when he went back to Oakland. I'm going to say Charles Woodson is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So far we have Manning, Johnson, and Woodson. Now, because Calvin Johnson is in, that's going to eliminate Reggie Wayne and Torry Holt. It's really tough to have 2 guys at the same position in the same class. And because Woodson is in, that eliminates John Lynch, LeRoy Butler, and Ronde Barber. Now, that leaves 6 guys for 2 positions, and the 3 linebackers are going to duke it out for 1. Zach Thomas, Sam Mills, and Clay Matthews. Zach Thomas, I got to eliminate him because Clay Matthews and Sam Mills have waited a lot longer than Zach Thomas has. So it comes down to Matthews and it comes down to Mills. Now out of the 2, out of Matthews and Mills, Matthews retired first. A year later, Mills retired. So between Matthews and Mills, who gets in? So out of Matthews and Mills, who gets in? Now out of these 2, both of them would be perfect for the Hall of Fame. But I'm going to go with Mills over Matthews, and it's because of Mills' story. When undrafted in 81, was cut, had to go to the USFL, and when he got back to the NFL, he still had to prove that a 5'9 linebacker could become a star, and that's what he did. Because of Sam Mills' story, I'm going with him over Clay Matthews. Now that leaves with Tony Barcelona, Alan Faneca, and Richard Seymour. And really, I think it's going to come down to Faneca and Barcelona. The reason why I think it's going to come down to those 2 is I think they were more dominant during their time than Seymour was. Not that Seymour wasn't dominant, it's just that Faneca and Barcelona were 2 of the best of their position during their time. I mentioned this earlier, Tony Barcelona never got hurt. He'd be in the Hall of Fame already, but he only played 7 seasons in the league. But in those 7 seasons was a 5-time Pro Bowler. Alan Faneca was a terrific guard during his time. This is so tough, but in the end, I'm going to go with Tony Barcelona. And the reason I'm going with Tony is because this is somebody that routinely shut down edge rushers that had to handle some of the best, and he handled them perfectly. This was somebody that could shut them down week in and week out. You never have to worry about pressure coming from his side, so that's who I think is going to the Hall of Fame. I think it's Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson, Sam Mills, Charles Woodson, and Tony Barcelona. Who do you guys think is going to make it to the Hall of Fame this year? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys next time.